I'm Kristen Simmons with Keller Williams Realty Elite in Winston-Salem. Excited to sit down today with Matthew Young, one of our preferred vendors here at the Winston-Salem Market Center. And Matthew, you and I have known each other now because I was a vendor.
Yes.
For 6 years, 7 years or so.
Yes. Wow.
Yes. So tell me about, let's start with you. Tell me just a little bit about you.
So I was born and raised in North Carolina in the Salisbury area. Grew up in Salisbury, and then I opened an office in Greensboro in 2006 rather. I got in the business in 2000 and live in Yadkinville now. I travel the whole state working with agents, clients, and that's kind of a summary of what I do in a sentence.
Okay. So you are under your Young Insurance Group.
Correct.
Now. Okay.
That is correct. Yeah. So I operate Young Insurance Group. We partner with Geico as a brand, but we are Young Insurance Group, locally owned and operated.
Okay. How many people are on your team?
10.
10.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest, what do you see the most sticking point or hurdle for agents as they're kind of helping their clients maneuver the insurance side today?
It's really a lack of information, truly, Kristen. It's a lack of information about the process. It's a lack of information that the client obtains about insurability. It's just really a disconnect with insurance because for so many years, it's been a situation where, hey, go get your insurance from your car insurance provider. And now we're seeing a lot of kickback when the client comes back and says they won't provide it. Now what? So we're seeing more issues than ever before because companies are tightening down restrictions on certain type of plumbing. Of course, roof age is a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that agents that have been in business for many years, they've not experienced a lot of the challenges that we're experiencing now. So they're slow to catch up sometimes. And so they're experiencing it, but they're just shocked because I'll get phone calls with things like, hey, I've not ever experienced this in 20 years. So
Right.
It's something, again, it's a bit unprecedented.
What is Young Insurance Group doing to soften that, to help to be a better friend to agents so that they give their client the white glove experience?
That's a great question. So first of all, we're available every day of the year till 10 o'clock p.m. So that means that when your agents are out in the field tonight at 8 o'clock, I'll welcome their call to say, hey, Matthew, could you just talk to my client really quickly about this unpermitted addition? Can you tell them it's okay? Because they want to put an offer in tonight, but they want to hear an answer first. A couple of weeks ago, a client was looking to buy a home with polybutylene piping. He kept running out of options. In fact, he was desperate. He was ready to terminate his contract, which that would have spelled, disaster for all the parties involved. And he called me late one night about 8 o'clock. His agent gave them to me as a last-ditch effort. We were actually able to offer him a policy. And when I told him we could give him a policy to get closed and then he needs to replace the plumbing, he was elated. You never thought I would have given him information that helpful, but it was powerful and impactful to him, Kristen, because he couldn't get anywhere else, even to the point of getting it to close. And so we gave him an option that met the material needs of his lender, and we're good to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you were a hero.
Absolutely.
To the agent and to the client.
Absolutely. And that's, after being in this industry 26 years, that's what gets me up and drives me every day to press on and never look back.
Right.
The other thing we're doing, to your point, is we take a pre-underwriting approach. So when your client calls me, I'm going to have a conversation with them after I assess the age of the roof and condition. If it's not within 5 or 10 years, I'm starting to ask questions. And when they say my roof's 15 to 20, I'm having a very explicit conversation with the client, letting them know that, again, like many consumers and even agents are unaware that the insurance company inspects the property after closing. So if the client buys a home and the agent makes no mention, and many times it happens, the agent may not be aware. The agent may be aware and just doesn't want to say anything. But no matter what, the client has a home inspection done. The home inspector said we have 3 to 5 years life left on this roof. And then the client moves in, and all of a sudden they get just completely blindsided by their insurance company. Send them a letter saying, hey, we just looked at your home 2 weeks ago. You've got to replace the roof or we're canceling your policy. And needless to say, that results in a furious client. And we have to deal with those from time to time because they don't typically want to talk to the agent anymore. Now they change gears and are talking to other people, including myself.
Right. How do you provide that service to be available all those days of the year? A lot of us in the vendor world used to think that you were like a phantom, like you could be a ninja. You could be so many places at one time.
I know not everyone in the universe will see this, so I can say this will keep our local secret is I'm available, but folks really don't need me, except it's kind of like a fire department. I'm a member of 2 fire departments. And
I knew that, yeah.
it's occasional that we're called upon, but when we are called upon, it's crucially important. And not to obviously parallel, but it is a bit of an analogy. Is that, to be fair with you, Kristen, I don't get a lot of 9:30 phone calls or Sunday phone calls or Saturday, but when I do, it's exceedingly important, and it's something I normally address within minutes or sometimes seconds, and I go on about my day. So to be fair, I'm the ringleader of the availability. My team does support me substantially. I have a great team most of the time. But yeah, so we basically just work together to try to find solutions and educate clients, because again, there is so much misinformation out there. And I believe in that knowledge is powerful, and that's what I strive to do, is just educate clients every day. When you come to us, we're going to sell you a policy that we sell our family. That's the other takeaway I would like to conclude with to that point, is that so often a lot of consumers don't know that truly with insurance, you do get what you pay for. If they're calling around shopping, many times they're getting a stripped down policy. They're not getting one with the bells and whistles that they may really want and need. So there's a lot of times when clients have claims, they're surprised to find that they, weren't protected when they really thought they were. And that's nothing more, frustrating to a client, is not only to have something like a water backup in their home occur, but then it not be covered, and they know that it could have been covered for $4 or $5 a month. That's a rub. So
Right.
we try to, again, just educate clients, give them our options, and tell them what we suggest, and then they can choose from there.
What's the best way for agents to get quotes from you? Like what's the path that gets them, they get to be the VIP for their clients?
Absolutely.
How do you like that to be done?
So the way that the highest execution method to make sure that we have an opportunity to be that resource for the client, and for us to make that agent a rock star, if they're serious about it, Kristen, it's a text introduction. Anything else is a chance, to be honest, because clients, I can't tell you often, I'll say agents today, hey, Matthew, I've sent such and such clients to you. They never called. That means that they probably settled for something less than we offer. For example, they went online. I'm sorry, but I feel like they lost out on the service of a live local agent. So just like most clients would not imagine dealing with 1-800-Realtor, they want to deal with Kristen Simmons here locally, or your agents. Same thing in our world, is the clients sometimes just don't understand the importance of that. And plus, they watch marketing, they think it's cheaper to go direct, and it's not. You just basically lose out on personal service.
I love a warm text intro.
It's the everything in the world. And I always tell vendors, I said, surely you can help me relay this to the agents. Let's ask for this, because again, I say, if you're serious about making the introduction, and I guess that become more brazen in my 26-year career, but I try to be forthright and just upfront with people and say, if you're serious about making the connection, if you truly want your client to connect with a vendor partner, text introduce them, because without that, they'll have no idea. And the other reason too is that the average insurance company doesn't offer availability past 5 o'clock here in the U.S. as a rule of thumb. So most consumers don't know that from 5 to 10, somebody's here to take their call in North Carolina. And we had a client a couple of years ago that called me about 7:30 p.m. on a Wednesday night from Japan. And the reason she knew to call was because of that text connection. Mm-hmm. So that's the other, practical reason that I request that, is because, again, I can't speak for other vendor partners. I'm sure everybody's not available until 10, but this lets us communicate our hours of availability. So when somebody's moving from Australia, they need to call, or from Korea, we talk to people around the world. That's enabled to accommodate that. So again, trying to accommodate as much for as many people as possible, doing the best job we can. That's what we're here to do.
Does Young Insurance Group, are you where you thought you'd be 26 years ago?
To be honest, I don't know that I could say that we have exceeded expectations, but all I can say is that we are wildly blessed, and that's all I can say. So I think we do. I think we're always innovating. We always want to look for ways to do it better. But yeah, I would have had no way to envision what it looks like down the road. I'm just happy to be here and still, contributing, part of the industry.
Yeah. Well, you're a preferred vendor for us. We only have 2 preferred vendors,
right.
in each of our categories. And you were a top pick for me. You're my insurance provider.
Right.
So
that's always a good
I'm
thing.
grateful for you.
Absolutely. Likewise.
But, I think for sure, like having been a vendor, even having being a team leader, I think communication is our biggest value proposition often, especially in the real estate world.
Absolutely.
Is there any other thing, kind of as we wrap up, that you think just truly sets Young Insurance Group apart?
Right. I think the fact that we really care to get the transaction not only done, but we truly put the best interest of the client first. We don't charge fees like a lot of companies have started charging fees to purchase insurance. I feel like that's not client centric. And we also service the business after the sale. Again, that sounds like it would be a foregone conclusion that everybody services the business they sell locally. Not the case. There are agencies now that are selling policies and they're telling after the sale, we need you to call a call center. So again, we just strive to deliver best in class service. That's our goal. And to do it, for again, as little as cost as possible, but with the right balance and blend. I always, again, tell folks, I would sell my parents the policy, I sell you. And if I wouldn't sell my parents the policy or sell my brother or sister policy, I would not sell it to you. So,
no, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think another thing that I think sets you apart, just as now I'm in a team leader role, but when I was a vendor with you, is how highly thought of you are amongst vendors.
Right.
I love that. Across from here to Brunswick County,
right. Yes.
People know you, they know
Right.
who you are, and you
Right.
stop. And you helped me when I was a vendor try to build our company.
Right.
And your mentality of just wanting to serve and help others, I think,
Right.
I know has had such an
Yes.
impact on your 26 years of business.
Right. I mean, like me or not like me, I am what I am. I am genuine. And sometimes I come across as brash, but what I do, I do in sincerity. I do with a genuine approach, and I actually do it with love. Sometimes it doesn't always come across that way, but I do have the best intentions for everybody, and I'm here to help everybody win. I do believe that, again, there's power in working together. I do believe that good communication between vendors would help us all.
Absolutely.
I think more communication between more vendors would help us. I have folks I need to call right now that I don't really routinely connect with, and they don't connect with me. But we just definitely need to have more continuity to compare notes and to kind of get an approach. So
it's such a different outcome when the agent can be a part of, when there's a team of vendors and
Right.
you can influence the outcome
Yeah.
of how the transaction goes.
100%.
When clients kind of go, and they can pick, right? Like
Sure.
they have autonomy to pick, but I know for our agents, they know if you're in it, that it will get to closing. And so
Yes.
we're super grateful that you're a part of our vendor program here, and just look forward to continuing to be in partnership together.
Likewise. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.